Hello, this is Rabbi Sammy Bergman from Beit Midrash Sefer Dov and Sha'arei Shamayim. This is the first of two videos presenting tales of the Second Temple. In this video, I would like to focus on the story of Nicanor Day, a holiday mentioned in the Talmud and Ta'anit 18b that dates back to the Second Temple period. Our story takes place in the land of Israel in the middle of the 2nd century BCE in the times of Judah Maccabee, of the Hanukkah story. It takes place after Judah has already defeated King Antiochus and rededicated the Second Temple. King Demetrius, king of the Seleucid Empire at the time, sent his general Nicanor to defeat Judah Maccabee and the Jewish army. Nicanor is treacherous. He tries to trick Judah and tells him, "I want to meet with you face to face in peace," in an attempt to assassinate him. However, Judah learns of the plan, as told in Maccabees, Book 1, Chapter 7, and escapes. Ultimately, the two fight one another, and Judah's army kills 500 of Nicanor's men. Obviously very upset at this outcome, Nicanor goes up to Mount Zion, to the temple. And upon going there, the Kohanim, the priests, see Nicanor, and they try to impress him. They greet him peaceably, they show him the offerings that they offer on behalf of the king, but Nicanor will not have it. He mocks them, he makes fun of them. The book of Maccabees says he defiles them, and he speaks arrogantly, and he makes the following oath: "Unless Judah and his army are delivered into my hands this time, then if I return safely, I will burn up this house." When the Kohanim hear this, they are very upset, they're distraught, and the book of Maccabees records the following prayer that they recite. The Kohanim say to God, "You chose this house to be called by your name, and to be for your people a house of prayer and supplication. Take vengeance on this man and his army, and let them fall by the sword, remember their blasphemies, and let them live no longer." What ends up happening after this prayer is that Judah meets Nicanor in battle, he defeats him, and he slays him in battle. And after the battle, and after his army is crushed, they take vengeance upon Nicanor. And the book of Maccabees says that the Jews seize the spoils, they cut off Nicanor's head and his right hand, which he so arrogantly stretched out, and brought them and displayed them just outside Jerusalem. They rejoice greatly and celebrate that day as a day of great gladness, and they decree that this day, which happens to be the 13th of Adar, should be celebrated as a holiday. Similarly, in Ta'anit 18b, the Gemara records the following, that the day of Yom Nicanor is celebrated for the following reason: that Nicanor used to always say, "When this city, Jerusalem, falls into my hands, and I will trample it." When they defeat him, similarly, what do? They cut off Nicanor's thumbs and big toes and hang them on the gates of Jerusalem, saying, "The mouth that spoke with pride and the hands that waved over Jerusalem, may vengeance be taken against them." This is the William Davidson edition of the Talmud in 18b. Why do I mention this story? What's noteworthy about the story is that it echoes a theme that we encounter again and again when we're reading Megillat Eicha and mourning the Second Temple. And that is that we don't only mourn what happened to our people, we personify the Beit HaMikdash and the city of Jerusalem. The people of that time period, the Maccabees, the priests in the temple, were offended at the way Nicanor treated Jerusalem and treated the Beit HaMikdash. And their reverence and attachment to the Yerushalayim and to the Beit HaMikdash was so strong that they could not stand someone defiling it and speaking negatively about it. That all the offerings and sacrifices that they were bringing upon themselves and behalf of the whole world weren't being appreciated. And therefore they said, we have to do something, and they prayed to God for vengeance. And as we approach Tisha B'Av and we spend time considering our loss of the temple, our loss of Yerushalayim, the city that sits in isolation, as described in Eicha, it's worth considering how we can also relate to the temple, to relate to the city of Jerusalem, that we can have an emotional attachment to this building and to the city. And hopefully, if we can do that and mourn appropriately, we also, as the Maccabees did back then, will experience a salvation. Thank you.